The Third Night, Part 1. Don't Look Out the Window. Lena just wanted to be alone. After a messy breakup and months of burnout, she booked a weekend getaway at a secluded rental cabin deep in the mountains. It was small, surrounded by trees, with no Wi-Fi and barely any cell service. That was the appeal. No messages, no expectations, just silence. The first day passed quietly. Snow began falling in the evening, adding a peaceful hush to the forest outside. But as night crept in, something felt off. Around midnight, Lena was reading by the fireplace when she heard a soft, rhythmic tapping at the window. Tap, tap, tap. She looked up. Nothing there. She went to check, thinking maybe a tree branch was knocking in the wind, but the nearest tree was too far. There were no branches near the glass. Nothing. Shrugging it off, she went to bed. The next morning, she stepped outside to gather wood and froze. In the snow below her bedroom window were footprints, bare feet, too large to be hers. They led to the window, but there were no prints leading away. She tried to tell herself it was just some weird animal or maybe another hiker passing by. But that night, the tapping came back, not just at one window, at 3 different ones, slowly, one after the other, like something was moving around the cabin. Then came the whisper, software, breathless, right outside the wall. Don't look. She didn't move, barely breathed. The tapping continued for nearly an hour before fading. The next morning, she found handprints smeared across the glass. Human-shaped, but the fingers were just slightly off. Too long, too many. And on the floor by the front door, she found a note, folded, yellowed, old. It read, "Whatever happens, don't look out the window on the third night." Part 2. The Watcher in the Woods. The third night was coming. Lena tried to leave. She packed, rushed outside, and followed the road back toward the main highway. But the snow had come heavier than expected. Trees had fallen across the only road out. Her car wouldn't start. Her phone had died overnight. Even if she walked, she didn't know the way back. She was trapped. By the time she returned to the cabin, the sun was already setting. In a panic, she covered all the windows, nailed blankets across every one, dragged furniture in front of the glass, stuffed cracks with towels. She lit every candle she could find. She didn't care how paranoid it seemed. She wasn't going to look. The night fell, and the tapping returned. Only now it was louder, and it wasn't just the windows. It came from the walls, the roof, even under the floor, soft scraping like nails or claws. The sound of someone, or something, crawling. Then the whispering returned, but not outside, inside the cabin. She heard it behind her, in the hall, beside her ear. "Don't look. Good. That's good. We like that." Lena collapsed against the floor, shaking. Later, digging through a drawer, she found something strange, an old journal tucked beneath a loose floorboard. Most of it was unreadable, the ink faded, but the last few pages were fresh. They belonged to someone named Marcus. He'd stayed in the cabin too. His entries grew frantic. "They tap every night. They try to make you look. If you do, you join them. And finally, I looked on the third night. They don't let you die. They make you watch." The rest of the pages were blank, except the very last one, which had fresh handwriting, different from the others. It read, "You will join us." Outside, every window began tapping at once. Part 3. Eyes in the Glass. The third night was quiet, too quiet. No tapping, no whispers, just the sound of her own breathing in the stillness. Lena opened her eyes slowly. She was on the floor. At some point she had passed out. She stood. Something felt wrong. The air was cold, heavy. When she looked around, her heart sank. The blankets were gone. Every window was uncovered, clean, clear, like they had never been touched. She didn't remember removing them. She wouldn't have. But there they were, open to the night. Moonlight spilled in, casting long shadows across the cabin. She turned her back to the glass. She refused to look. Then came the whispers, not outside, not even beside her, inside her head. "Lena, we're here. Don't you want to see us?" We see you. We've always seen you. Turn around. She closed her eyes and backed into the corner, hands over her ears. Then she heard it, her voice, her own voice. Look. She opened her eyes, just for a second, and caught her reflection in the dark window. Only, it wasn't her. The face looking back at her was smiling, watching, not blinking, something behind the glass, and it had too many eyes. Epilogue. The cabin was found a week later. Empty, cold, no sign of struggle. Lena's things were still inside, untouched, but Lena was gone. The only clue was the message written in the fogged window by the fireplace. Don't look. She didn't listen. Locals say the cabin's still there, still rented, still cheap, but you have to stay 3 nights. And whatever you do, don't look out the window.